All right. I'm going to be, well, obviously talking a lot here. I don't know how long this is going to last. Um, I'm probably going to pause a lot in what I'm saying or when I'm saying stuff because I want to, give a good response, give a good answer, and I'm going to read through your email and just kind of go through things, point by point and see what I can offer up for a good answer for you. Let's see. You said you read a lot on the theory I proposed the last time. You couldn't send anything in. Now I wonder what the heck I said. I don't remember what I said. I'm sorry. Um, but you have a few questions to get answered. All right. So how do you approach composing an entire song? Now, does that mean me personally? Because if you're asking me personally, oh boy, man, oh man. How do I go about answering that one? I do have some demos out there. Project name is Locrian Mist. It is on Spotify. It's on a SoundCloud account. I need to get my website up again. I just haven't been using it, so I just let it stop renewing. If you listen to it, I would not listen to it in a car because the car mix is absolute trash. I am not good at mixing. I am not. It sounded good enough on the, in-house, at home. But then I listened to it in the car, I'm like, this is absolutely terrible. I had one guy tell me it wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be. Maybe he's being nice, but it's way too bass heavy. Way too bass heavy. I don't know, bass is like the hardest thing to get right in the mix. You see, I write, I feel, fairly intricate bass lines. Like, because it's instrumental tracks. And there's a lot of guitars and bass stuff going on. And I feel that the bass is an underutilized instrument in, well, music in general. And I think you can do a lot of interesting things with the bass. Like these guys, I feel they used to do. I don't know what happened, but like Steve Harris, the bass player, doesn't seem to write as many detailed bass lines as he once did. And it was like really cool, like how the bass, it was almost like the guitar was almost backing up the bass at times, because like maybe the guitar would just be playing some simple chords while the bass was doing some more intricate stuff. So anyway, when I write stuff, so if you go listen to the, I'll post links to you so you can check it out. Some people like the material. It's, I don't know. I've had some good response to it. But basically, I don't write things in a standard song structure. Rarely ever do I repeat many things as you would in a standard song, such as like your intro, verse, chorus, guitar solo, bridge, chorus, outro kind of thing. Basically, I just go from one riff to the next, and I really listen to what my head is coming up with. I feel like it's a very like organic, growing kind of thing. It's like I come up with a riff that I like, I'll just be fiddling around and like, hey, I like that, and then it just kind of grows from there. Now I will repeat things in a song where like maybe I'll bring back a riff after a while if it seems like a good idea, if it feels like the right thing. But I'll have some songs that I don't do at all because it just didn't feel right to me. I just wanted it to go from this to this to this to this to this. Or at least I might bring something back that's similar to an earlier riff, but that's just me. I just writing things I'm having fun with, writing things that I have fun playing or they're just interesting to me, and I'm very picky with what I write. I am doing stuff with my dad. He has a lot of finger-picked acoustic stuff, and I've been writing material along with him. That we don't have anything recorded yet, but when I'm doing that, I will like repeat things that we do, like a more verse chorusy type thing. It's not as complex in terms of song structure, but I am trying to make it like, catchy or singable, memorable stuff. But there's some complexity here and there as far as what I'm playing every now and then, which I have to rehearse before we actually play the damn song every week. But anyway, so this is like a long-winded answer, so I apologize that this is going to be long-winded on a lot of things where I'm just kind of rambling out the answer because I want to give a thorough answer. And again, like I'm going to assume you meant how do I personally write a song. And I have some stuff that's in the works too. It just hasn't been finished. But a lot of it is just like listening to, well, what sounds good to me and going from there. Learning the music theory stuff has helped a bunch in terms of like opening up different possibilities, different sounds, different chord shapes or scale things that I never would have thought of, which is one reason I do, tell people it is very beneficial to learn your theory. Very beneficial. Even if you don't use, you won't use like more than half of the stuff. When it comes down to it, you're just not. Like, a lot of, like your 7th chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, 13th chords, like when are you going to use a 13th chord on guitar? It's a 7-note chord when it comes down to the full thing. And if you got a 6-string guitar, well, you got a problem. And a lot of those things, it's more like understanding interval structure and modes and what you can do to manipulate the notes to create the sounds that you want. And you play a lot of things, go through like drills and whatnot, and then it just kind of spontaneously creates stuff. It's like learning other songs. Like whenever I would learn a song or riffs from songs, or even like trying to figure out a song by ear, like I like that, or maybe I'll just say I'm not listening to the song, but I try and figure out something that's like it, and then I actually write something that's like it. So basically, you just rip shit off, which is what you do with so much songwriting anyway. You're just basically taking what you like that somebody else did and making your own version of it. That's how new music comes about anyway. We're just taking what we like and then just putting our own spin on it. That's how it all comes together. So I'm not saying it's like an obvious, oh yeah, that's just the same riff with one note difference. Like, no, it's just very much a similar kind of feel to it, or or maybe a technique or an approach. So like learning other songs when you are stuck on writing your own stuff can be helpful, because then you can come up with new ideas. Like, oh well, this song is doing this thing I haven't done before, and then that might inspire a new thing. So learning other stuff can help with the writing process. Learning more theory can help with the writing process. But yeah, I just, putting things in Guitar Pro is helpful. Recording like demo tracks, so put it into whatever recording software you have is a great idea. So you can listen back to it and like add things. You can take all these riffs and put them together. That's what some people do. They'll have a riff that's been sitting around for years, and then they finally write another thing like, oh shit, that can actually work for here and here. Or maybe your band members, maybe you have a riff and then a band member has another riff, and then you put them together. It actually works out really well. So that's something that could happen. Right, so you said your bandmates and I just started the first one together a couple weeks ago, and you're playing lead guitar. You feel like whatever you do feels off when it comes to the flow of the different riffs together for rhythm and lead guitar as well. So what are some tricks you could use to make the different riffs blend in? So, alright, let me try and make sure I understand what's going on there. Alright, so you're playing lead. Flow of the different riffs together. So, let's say there's no lead for a moment there. Are we talking about riff A going into riff B, I'm assuming a rhythmic thing to another rhythmic thing, or riffy thing to riffy thing? Are you trying to play a solo on top of it, or is it just riff A doesn't seem to go well into riff B? Is that because of what you're doing on top of it? Is it just seem like it's just they don't match? Maybe they just don't match. How are you going about putting it together? Did you come up with the idea? Did the bandmate come up with the idea? So you probably will need to go into a lot more detail here. As for Audio examples would be great. If you can get audio for me, that would be great, because that I could definitely help even better. Like, show me what's actually happening and why you think it doesn't flow well. Because without hearing it, it's just taking like a shot in the dark. Like, I don't know. Like, I got to hear it. What's going on there? Is it going from like one key to another that doesn't sound very good? Is it like a mode to mode kind of thing that clashes? Is it like all of a sudden a very abrupt tempo change that doesn't make any sense? Like, I got to hear what's happening to give a more specific answer with that. Because it can be any number of things. Any number of things. It could just be that those two riffs don't go together. Maybe you need something else in between. Maybe you need another riff to bridge the gap. I don't know. Until I hear it, I can't know. Let's see. I'll read that again. If you like whatever you do, feels often it comes to the flow of the different riffs together for rhythm and lead guitar as well. What are some tricks you could use to make different riffs blend in? It's really no tricks there, because if it's in the same key, that's going to help a bunch. Same tempo is going to help. Well, because there's so many things you could try, and again, without hearing it myself, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say. So what is tricks? So questions you asked there, like use the same chord progression for more of them. Try it. That could work. Start the next riff with the last chord of the first riff. Try it. That could work. You said you've not composed a lot, so it feels very tough for now. Any ideas would help. The biggest thing to do is do more. More. And that's the same thing with getting better at soloing and improvisation. Is you want to get good at writing solos, you have to solo a lot. And we can do more improvisation work too. Be great for memorizing scale stuff and moving around the fretboard and giving you new ideas. And I've actually started doing something with a few other students where I'm getting this kind of polished up and dialed in with the more people I do this with. But it's basically, we got a chord progression, got drums programmed, bass and backing guitar inside Guitar Pro. And then what I did was I wrote something for like the first half of it. And then after that, it's up to you to make up something. So basically my lead for it is to give you ideas or give people ideas on what you can do over the chord progression or what you can do in the scale shape, and then see what you come up with. Let's see. Like, when should you add a chromatic median in your solos? So I'm assuming you mean something like, actually, let me grab a backing track. Let's just grab a backing track and use something to help out. So I'll just do good old key of A minor, because actually I'm going to look up YT Jam tracks because I really like a lot of their stuff. And let's go there. Hold up. That's just their intro video. Alright, we'll go with this one. The epic, atmospheric, melodic rock backing track in A minor. It's got all kinds of keywords crammed into these titles, but the something like that. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've never sat there and studied any chromatic mediant, so I'm going to look up just to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. And that's right, I don't know everything. Chromatic mediants are chords whose root notes are a major or minor third apart, are not oh, I might be understanding it wrong. Chords whose root notes are a major or minor third. Yeah, good God damn it. I cannot talk. Root notes are a major or minor third apart, are not diatonic to the parent key and share a common tone with the original chord. For example, in the key C major, the chromatic medians are E major, E flat major, A flat major, A major, E flat major, and A flat minor. Root notes are a major or minor third apart. Give you a fucking example of that. This is defined as... Yes, give me an example. Also just basically taking and moving up a major third. Or doing this and going down a minor third that's out of key. Oh no, that is a major third. G minor to E flat minor there. So it'd be like this. Yeah, okay, so fancy words for chord change stuff in there. You know, a lot of these theory things, they're there to explain what's happening. Well, all theories there to explain what's happening in music. So your question is, when do you use it? You use it whenever the heck you want. It doesn't matter. Like you just got to try it. And if you try and write a song where you're sticking within, like, oh, I used this chord, so I have to use this one next. It could lead to creative ideas, because it could, again, theory, music theory, it'll give you ideas that you haven't done before. But, like, because like when I learned chord theory, music theory stuff, it was just one-on-one lessons. But it was done in person. I still have the books that my teacher had me get that we worked through. And not as in detail as I actually do with students now. So I know there's like, you got classical theory and you got jazz theory, and for some reason they're not the same thing, which seemed weird to me, and I've kind of looked into that and talked to people about it who actually have degrees and everything, and thankfully those with degrees have confirmed, like, no, I do know what I'm talking about. Like, hey, awesome. So, like, because one thing I've heard about is, like, if you play, like, say you play the one chord, well, you're only supposed to go to this chord or that chord after that. I don't remember what the examples are, but, like, I never liked that idea. It's like, you know, if I want to play this chord, I can go to wherever fucking chord I want to, damn it. So, like, when are you supposed to, like, add a certain thing? Okay, well, yeah, when you said add the chromatic median in your solos, that's what made me think, like, are you talking about actually playing the solo with some kind of chromatic thing? And then he says, so should that also change the chord play for the rhythm guitar? All right, so when it comes to, maybe we should focus on some improvisation stuff then. So, and then, I should read that question too. Like, writing a solo, should you first write the rhythm section? Yes. And then add the solo on top? So, when I'm thinking solo, like, you know, guitar solo, lots of flashy things, right? Versus a lead. I mean, you can write a solo, and you can obviously write a lead. A lead is, like, not as busy. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Like, a lead line is a less busy thing, like... I don't know why I went so damn happy there. But I did. So maybe something like that. That's kind of like a lead, and like the guitar. The rhythm could be doing that. But like a solo would be like... So you got like a really busy solo like that. I mean, you could write something like that and then figure out what chords go well behind it. But typically you'll have an easier time writing a solo if you have the chord you want to solo over first. Now, what scales, modes, and whatnot you use over the chords, that's going to be up to the chords. So, like, man, there's like so much that we can get into with this stuff. So, again, like, what's... how do I say it? I'll go about this. I don't like the idea of, at least for myself, saying like, this song has to have this, and that. Because then it might come out forced. Now, when it comes to like songwriting practice, and you want to just get better at writing songs and stuff like that, then it could be very beneficial to have a structure in mind. Like, you're going to have an intro, you're going to have a verse, you're going to have a chorus, and you're going to have an outro. And then a lot of times the guitar solo will be done on like maybe what the verse is being played. And then, you know, when you are doing a guitar solo, it's typically done over something not very complex. So if you got like a lot of busy work going on with the rhythm guitar, that would mean you may not have a lot of room to allow a solo to happen. Because if the rhythm guitar is doing all kinds of crazy stuff, all these changes all over the place, well, then it's going to clash with a busy solo. So if the rhythm guitar is doing all these riffy things, then it would make sense to have a lead that's less busy. And that's one thing you can think about with songwriting. So it's like when one instrument's being really busy, the others have to be less busy. You got to give room for each thing to breathe when you're doing it in order to make things stand out. Because if you got everything going crazy at once, it's just going to sound like a freaking mess. And I mean, some people might like listening to that, but even like the, you know, death metal stuff, you have, each instrument has its time to shine. And if one instrument is shining the entire time, then the other instruments don't. There's enough of a balance. Like, you know, the bigger names and even the extreme metal bands, they still make sure that, you know, it's not overly cluttered with stuff. Not everyone's doing a solo at the same time, because then it just sounds like a freaking mess. So, let's see. Any other tips, methods of learning to compose, or know anything useful that it might not know? I'll let you know, or I'll let you know. So yeah, I guess I have kind of like talked about it quite a bit already, haven't I? I think so. Yeah. Let's see. A loud car just drove by. That was distracting. Send over what you have if you can. Yeah, like when writing your own stuff, like, you can always take like a song structure from a song that you do like, you know, like, and try and structure it in a similar way, like have a similar kind of intro, verse, chorus type deal. This way you have like some kind of inspiration for it. I'm not saying make it sound exactly the same, but just kind of a similar idea. That could be something to help you get started. Learning the actual song is a good idea too. So this way you're learning things you haven't done before, and that can inspire new ideas. Learning your scales. Knowing your scales, knowing your modes, and just sitting down and riffing. Just riff. Start messing around. And then when you stumble across something you like the sound of, write it down, record it, just get it down, because you're going to forget. I mean, you might not, but there's a really good chance. Speaking from experience, I have forgotten more than I remembered. So I make sure that if I come up with something I like I got to record this or put it in Guitar Pro, because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. Um, yeah. Yeah, so without you and I being able to have a discussion live where we can, say things back and forth, it's hard to say, you get really the best answer for you. Um, but for me, I don't like forcing things. I try and just let it happen. Sometimes songs just won't get completed for a while. Try not to force it if you can. If you have like a big rush to finish things, then that could be a problem. But yeah, maybe you can tell me more about what's happening with the band, what the goal is. Um, you said you started your first one a couple weeks ago, but have you guys just been playing covers before this? Is this a brand new band? What's going on there? So yeah, if you can give me more detail on that and actually send over anything that you have worked on so far, that would be helpful. And then we can always start incorporating, theory stuff here. You're in Patreon. Have you looked at the modes course, the metal modes course? It's a preview, but most of the stuff is done, just not all the video demonstration. There's audio for most of it, because making sure you know those modes can be helpful. Anyway, at this point, I'm just rambling. So, yeah, let me know what questions you might have after all that, and any more details you can give me regarding what you have written, how long the band's been together, what you guys have done in the past, things like that. That'd be really helpful. Okay, I hope you got something of value out of that, or at least it can further the discussion. Okay, I will see you again in your new videos.